South Asia's debt-ridden nation of Sri Lanka has turned to the International Monetary Fund for a bailout package. Finance Minister Ali Sabry will head to the United States in Washington, D.C. later today to hold talks with the global monetary body. The negotiations for an immediate bailout come amid foreign exchange dearth in the island country, which is incapable of financing even the most essential imports. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka has suspended foreign debt payments and diverted dwindling foreign reserves to importing essentials. Sri Lanka needs between $3 to $4 billion this year to pull itself out of an unprecedented economic crisis. The talks are scheduled to begin in Washington, D.C. on April 18th. If the delegation succeeds in making a decent case before the IMF, the emergency relief funds can be expected within the coming weeks. Citing the economic crisis in the country and rising external funding pressures, multiple ratings agencies have downgraded Sri Lanka's sovereign rating. Fitch downgraded Sri Lanka's foreign currency rating. The credit rating agency say the move reflects its view that a sovereign default process has begun. S&P Global said in a statement, Sri Lanka's debt restructuring process is likely to be complicated and may take months to complete as the government scrambles to secure external assistance. IMF's mission chief for Sri Lanka, Masahiro Nozaki, was reported saying that IMF supported the country's plans to engage with creditors. I quote, "We assessed Sri Lanka's debt to be unsustainable and that the country's fiscal efforts and macroeconomic policy adjustments alone could not restore debt sustainability." IMF extended help to Sri Lanka the last time in 2016. The loan was capped at $1.5 billion, but the program was prematurely terminated after disbursing $1.3 billion. Sri Lanka has also turned to countries like India and China for support amid a weak foreign reserves position. The nation is also in talks with the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank for support. Ahead of the negotiations for a debt restructure with IMF, the cash-strapped country's loss-making national carrier has revealed plans to lease aircrafts. Despite the crisis, state-owned Sri Lankan Airlines will expand its fleet from 24 to 35 planes in the next 3 years. The national carrier did not say how it planned to finance the leases. The plan came the same day Fitch downgraded bonds issued by the airline, suggesting the carrier was near default. Sri Lanka has also announced a 5-day share trading halt. Colombo's stock exchange officials say they were under pressure not to reopen to prevent an anticipated collapse of the market. Meanwhile, the protesters on ground remain adamant on demanding President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's removal. Demonstrations have raged across Sri Lanka for weeks. People are angered by prolonged power cuts and shortages of fuel and medicine. Citizens have camped outside the presidential secretariat for almost a week now. The first high-profile sports stars to join the demonstrators are Sri Lanka's World Cup winning cricket captain Arjuna Ranatunga and fellow ex-skipper Sanath Jayasuriya. The pair called on other former players to support peaceful protests. Several trade unions also joined the demonstrators, laying siege to President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's seafront office. Thousands of health sector trade workers marched to the Gale Face promenade to join the protests. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.